this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to get expired for free, but more importantly, be the first one to call. As you can see, I have 6 steps and I have the list right here. So we're going to go through it one by one, step by step. If you need to rewatch this video and make sure you didn't miss a step, feel free to do so. You can pause it. This is really just going to be like baby steps. So this way, you know how I was successful as a newer agent. I was able to get expireds and cancels because I was doing a strategy that all other realtors weren't really doing. So let me go ahead and show you my screen. Okay, so this is my MLS. This is public data. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my city. And then here is where I'm gonna select the status. Now this is Flex. I know other realtors may have Matrix or other platforms. You're gonna wanna go into your MLS and see if you're able to do this for your area. But for example, and look, even my MLS glitches, technology glitches, you guys. It's okay, you just have to get a workaround. You know what I mean? Okay, so we're doing Fort Lauderdale at status. I'm gonna do expireds. Now I know even some of my realtor friends who have Flex say that they can actually select expireds and canceled at the same time, but I know my system won't. It just causes a glitch where it won't even send me the information. So I do this separately, and this is something you want to pay attention to. If this isn't working, you want to like play around with it and see what you can change or tick off, or just change in general. So for myself, I'm just going to do the one because my system won't allow me to select multiple statuses at the same time. So I'm just going to select the one, expired. And then I like to put today's date. We'll see if none have expired today. That's fine. Let's pretend, because it's still early. It's like 11:40 in the morning. Okay, so one expired yesterday. So let's pretend today was the 27th and it was like 5 o'clock and maybe it expired at 2 o'clock. Then of course we would have seen it, because expireds and canceled happen all throughout the day. So I'm going to click on list and it's going to show us the one. But going back to the search, you would just basically do today's date. This is just me working here. Okay, and then I'm going to hit save and do save search. And then if you haven't seen my FSBO video, how to get FSBOs for free, is the same how I mean, it'll be in the description if you want to look at it, and then same playlist. But here I would just put what it is, expired, and then I would put Fort Lauderdale. So if it was a canceled, I would put canceled in Fort Lauderdale, and then you're going to want to do save and add subscription, and you're going to add yourself. I'm assuming all realtors have yourself in as a contact in your own MLS, so you can get email alerts directly. Now let me just make sure you're following along here. So what we have done is gone to our MLS. Okay, and then you want to set yourself up on a search. Oops, can I write on here? Okay. So you're going to set yourself up on a search. There are some realtor agents, friends of mine, who have Matrix and say this does not work. They can't set themselves up on an MLS search because the second one is emailing, right? I said to set yourself up and get an email. If you don't do this, don't let this stop you. I know the other workaround, which is you just go 2-3 times a day into your Matrix. You'll have the search. You can still save the search. It just won't allow you, even though you will set it up, you won't get the email. It doesn't prevent you from going and just getting the data. So I know realtors who have Matrix, they have the search. They'll go into the search 2-3 times a day because they've set it up once, and then they just go and see if there's anything that same day. So if the email is not being sent through your MLS, there's a reason, but the workaround is just to go into the search that you created. Now, the next one is to pull up the listing on your MLS. So I showed you that one that I was starting to look at. What I like to do first and foremost is go to the tax records and look at the listing agent. Make sure they don't match. You'd be surprised, at least I want to say like 30 to 40% of the ones that I look at, the owner is the realtor. So are you going to waste your time in calling them? No. Now this is strategic because if you have a third party company that you're paying to get the data, that you just start calling, and in my opinion, you're just wasting your time waiting for a realtor who owns the property to answer. So that's the first thing I check. Is the owner the listing agent? Okay. The other thing is you want to see if you can actually find the owner or if it's an actual company, an LLC. And I only say that because you're going to want to take an extra step to see who actually owns the LLC if you want to give them a call. Which leads me to step 3. What you're going to do is, not Google them. That's another step. Just look at the listing. But really, you're just looking for who's the owner. You just want to make sure you're not wasting your time. So who's the owner? Now, step 4, what you're going to do is just add them to your CRM. Whatever CRM you use. I use MOJO Dialer. I actually curated MOJO, my dialer, to be a CRM. So it's all in one, which actually helps with the next step I'm about to go over. But the reason you want to check, let's pretend the owner is not a realtor, just looks like a regular person. You're going to add them to your CRM. You're starting to get organized. You don't want to lose the data. You're going to enter their name, their address, and then put them into your CRM. Now, the next step, which is number 5, to find their phone number. There's a couple different ways you can do this. One in particular is forewarn. But the reason I say to add them into your CRM, especially if MOJO is your CRM, is you can actually use MOJO's skip tracer. So by you just plugging in their name and address, MOJO can instantly pull up their phone number. Now, this is actually something my mentor recently mentioned, as well as Matt, who does watch and actually makes calls and is getting listings through Circle Prospecting. So thank you, Matt, for bringing this up to my attention. This is actually a much easier way. Now with a skip tracer, that does cost $50 a month, but if you know me, I'm super frugal, so I would probably just use Forewarn for this. So just get organized, add their name and address into your CRM, use Forewarn, this is manual, or you can just use the skip tracer if you just want a convenience factor. It's either time or money. I'll always pick time. So that's finding their phone number, right? And then number 6 is you're just going to straight up call and ask. Ask them if they want to relist. You would be surprised. Now, if you watched my FSBO video already, you'll know I wasn't the greatest at FSBOs. I'm very successful at Circle Prospecting. I did $101,230 GCI in 2024 and more than doubled that in 2025. My goal is $300,000. I'm pushing for $400,000 by the end of 2025. I didn't get there through FSBOs and expireds. But the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I've had other realtors who tell me they do call FSBOs, they do call expireds, and I'm just sharing the strategy in which I was able to get them, but more importantly, be the first one to call them. So with that being said, the cancels that I did get, I remember I would find them this way. I would look them up, call them, and say, hey, I noticed your property just came off the market. Were you actually wanting to interview other agents to help you get it sold? Or did you just want to take it off the market? And they were like, no, I need a realtor. And you're the first one that called me. And most of them were either like, can you come this evening? And a couple of them I met the following morning. So I actually was already getting the listing paperwork signed. Keep in mind, everybody called them the next day at 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30, whereas I already had the listing agreement, or I was there in person already getting it signed while they were just waking up and getting on whatever dialer that they have and starting to call. In fact, I'll never forget this one elderly lady. I met her at 8:30 in the morning, and realtors were calling her, and no joke, she was like this, standing next to me. Answer, hang up. Answer, hang up. Answer, hang up. She goes, oh, these realtors, they're so late. You were the first to call me. That's why you're here. Answer, hang up. It was so funny. It was such it left such a memory in my brain about the whole experience. Now, if you want to watch the FSBO video, I'm going to go ahead and, let me switch. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put it right here, the FSBO. And then if you want to figure out how I successfully circle prospect and built my pipeline and have people calling me saying, hey, Adela, can you come over? I want to list, and literally no competition. Then I'm going to go ahead and put that down here. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments, and make sure to subscribe if you like this information. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.